Okay, thank you very much. My name is Raj Singh. I work at Mount Sinai as an associate professor in Mount Sinai in the departments of dermatology and pathology. Because of the shortage of time, I'll tell you what we do. How do we use teledermatopathology as an extension of teledermatology in practice, education, and research? So a brief outline of what is virtual dermatopathology, how do we use it in practice, how do we use it in education, and how do we use it in research? So starting off with what is digital pathology? So it's a dynamic image-based environment that enables the acquisition, management, and interpretation of pathology information generated from a digital glass slide, often used interchangeably with virtual microscopy. So what does that mean? So normally we are used to seeing a glass slide under a microscope. In digital pathology or virtual microscopy, as you might want to use whatever terminology you like, the slide is actually put into a scanner. So this is a scanner. The scanner will then convert the slide into a software program that can be then visualized on any mobile device or any computer.
Dr. Singh, can we please interrupt you just for a quick second? Do you mind putting your presentation onto slideshow, please? Because we can't follow it from here otherwise.
So normally when we get a tissue in pathology, so what happens, it is processed into a glass slide. The pathologist will then look at the slide under the microscope, and a report is generated. In virtual microscopy or digital pathology, there's an extra step. The slide is then put into a scanner. The scanner will then convert it into a software program which can then be visualized on the computer. So instead of the microscope, the computer becomes the microscope. What is the advantage? The advantage is because now it is a software program and you are looking at on the computer. The dermatologist as well as the pathologist can both look at it at the same time, or even multiple pathologists can look at it at the same time. So this is how pathology was practiced previously, and now the microscope is on the side, and the computer becomes the main tool for practicing pathology. So how do we use it at Mount Sinai in dermatology practice? So right now we are using it in two situations. New York State is a huge state, and New York City, although it contains 85% of the entire population of the state, there is around 15% population that is outside of the city, and those are quite remote areas and underserved areas. So using teledermatopathology, we can link the dermatologist and the patient in those areas to dermatopathology experts, and we can therefore help them in making a quick diagnosis, which also improves the healthcare cost and delivery. The main use for teledermatopathology right now is for second opinion services. So if there's a patient in Brazil, or there's a patient in Australia who wants to show us a case, or a clinician who wants to show us the case, the slide can be viewed using digital pathology. It is put on the cloud, and then we can look at the case and provide a second opinion. And there are multiple studies that have shown that shown a very similar diagnostic accuracy using this technology as compared to conventional microscopy. We also use it for live conferencing. So what happens is when the clinician sees a report, so this is the report that the clinician gets. At the base of the report, there is a link that the clinician can then click on. So once he clicks on the link, the clinician is able to see a digital slide on his computer in his clinic. So then he picks up the phone, he calls us up, he has the slide in front of him. We have the slide in front of us in the computer, on our computer, and then we can discuss the case, what are the important findings in the case, how do you manage this, and it makes it much easier than just reading of a report. Although this is a very superb technology to use, there are a lot of hurdles. The FDA hasn't still approved it for routine use, and there are many laws in the US that prevent it from using it very efficiently. The licensing requirements are different in every state, and how the payment is done through the insurances also varies from state to state, which is still a big hurdle on using this technology in routine dermatology practice. How do we use it for education? We use it all the time for education because we can use it either when when we are holding a class in person, or even when the residents are not available in the room. So the residents can virtually attend the conference, which would otherwise be unavailable to them, and they can do it from any device. Even they can do it from their own iPhones and mobile devices. So what we do is we scan the slides, and they are hosted on the university server. Links are added to the presenter's handout, and then the residents can log in using a password protected user interface. So once the resident logs in, he's going to see the list of the cases. He's going to see a list of the questions and the history, and then he can look at the slide and answer the question. And the presenter can then actually go back later and look at the case and what the resident has submitted as an answer. We can also present. What we do is we take an interesting case every week. The slides are digitalized. They are put onto the cloud, and then the trainees, they get a chance to review the slide, and then the diagnosis is posted at the end of the week. Two applications that I have been personally involved in is one when I was working at the University of Pittsburgh. We built a web-based UPMC slide slet, and another one is MyDermPath, which is a mobile application. The UPMC slide slet is present on the UPMC server. Once you log in, once you register and log in, you'll see a list of 800 cases with clinical histories. Once you click on any of the cases, you're going to see the clinical history and the case number. And when you click on the whole slide link, you'll be able to see the whole slide from anywhere, anytime actually, and then make up your diagnosis. So this is a nice case of botryoomycosis. For MyDermPath is another application that uses digital pathology. It is a web and mobile-based application which integrates modern technologies for teaching of dermatology as well as dermatopathology. It is now available as a free download from both the iTunes and the Android store. Currently, the name is MyDermPath Plus, and it is under the American Academy of Dermatology. It has a ton of features. If you click on search by diagnosis, it will give you a list of 1100 diagnoses. If you click on any of the diagnoses, you get the clinical features, the clinical image, the histological features and the histological image. If you click on the button at the bottom that says digital slide, you'll be able to see a digital slide on your device. You can also get management for that entity. So how do you work up the patient? How do you manage the patient? If you're preparing for your boards, if you need to know some trivia about the diagnosis, you click on trivia and you will get all the information that you need to know for your board exams. There are a ton of other interactive features. You get any help with special stains of what stains to do, like for mucin, what stain do I do? If you need any help with immunohistochemistry, there's also a very nice quiz format which has both histological and clinical images. We are also building other tools that are going to use digital pathology for teaching as well as presenting cases. So the first tool is widex.com, which is a platform where you can share and publish information and knowledge in a digital format. You can also, this is an important platform because you can securely share. It is a HIPAA compliant platform, and you can also use it for virtual tumor board meetings. On this platform, we are also collaborating with Sloan Kettering to build a teaching tool for dermoscopy as well as confocal images. There's another platform which is called pathpresenter.com, which is a platform where you can actually present cases in a digital slide format. There are multiple tools on the platform to enhance your presentation. And if you don't have digital slides of your own, we have provided a library of digital slides which you can use to import cases. And if you have your own cases, you can upload your own cases actually. In pathcast.net, you can, it is a platform from which interactive lectures are being broadcasted live. So we bring in good people in dermatology, dermatopathology, and they will do a live presentation which is broadcasted live on YouTube and Periscope. The viewers can interact with the lecturer via the chat. And if you cannot attend it live, they are archived and they are put on the the links are put on Twitter and your Google account, and you can then later on come and see the lecture. How do we use it in research? We know, like, we are trying to develop multiple software programs using digital pathology, which will help us find mitosis, find organisms, because it takes a lot of time to find organisms when you're actually looking at a glass slide. So we are trying to build programs that can help you find those organisms. We are also trying to build programs that can help distinguish between melanoma and dysplastic nevi. Right now, when we have a difficult case, we do molecular techniques like FISH, CGH, and these tests provide around 85% sensitivity and specificity. So we are trying to build programs and that can distinguish between dysplastic nevi and melanoma. The hypothesis that we are using is because melanomas tend to have a lot of chromosomal abnormalities, the amount of chromatin that is present within a melanoma nuclei is going to be different than a normal nuclei. So we took 140 cases of dysplastic nevi, and 140 cases, of which half of them are dysplastic nevi and half of them are melanomas, and then we compare it to the chromatin material in the dysplastic nevi and the melanoma to the keratinocytic nuclei. So the amount of chromatin that is available in the keratinocytic nuclei is the baseline chromatin for that lesion. And then is the amount of chromatin, if our hypothesis is that dysplastic nevi will have the same amount of chromatin as keratinocyte, and if it is a melanoma nucleus, it is going to have either less or more amount of chromatin compared to the keratinocytic nuclei. So we do a number of different processes before we actually do the analysis. So the color deconvolution of the chromatin material is done to reverse any optical distortion. The nuclei are then segmented to take out any bad or overlapping nuclei, and then we put them on a software program. And the program that we are presently using is called Penalized Linear Discriminative Analysis. This is a program that was developed by the scientist at Carnegie Mellon, and it can separate the nuclei based on the amount of chromatin. And when we use this program, we were able to separate the dysplastic nevi and the melanoma with an 81% accuracy, which is not bad compared to the 85% accuracy that you get with the molecular testing. And those tests cost $3,000, and this is a free thing that you can do with the slide that you have actually. So we are trying to use, now we are expanding the program to 1,000 cases. So we're going to use 500 cases of melanoma and 500 cases of dysplastic nevi, and then try to use digital pathology to see if we can find parameters that can differentiate the two sets actually. So in conclusion, we are trying to use digital pathology in conjunction with teledermatology to provide both clinical care, education, and research. And as these systems mature, we hope to combine teledermatology and teledermatopathology to provide a complete package of personalized medicine at Mount Sinai. And this is what the goal that all of us have, basically, to provide improved patient care and provide more personalized medicine to all the patients that come to us actually. The main challenge that we all have is we need to change ourselves and start using these technologies so that we can provide better care to our patients. Like Tolstoy said, everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. So we need to change ourselves, and then we can change the world. Thank you for your attention.